welcome to our SILVERSEA Silver Muse Dining and Drink Guide. The information presented here is from our recent trip aboard the Silver Muse and applies to all of the 9 dining venues, 10 if you want to count your own cabin as a dining venue, and the what seems a multitude of venues aboard the Silver Muse where you can enjoy a coffee, tea, soft drinks, or a libation or two. Now for the restaurants and overall for the bars, I'm going to do something a little different than I've done in the past. I'm going to be rating those restaurants according to this particular list that I put together. And all of these ratings will be strictly my opinion, for whatever that is worth. And of course, many of these areas must be judged subjectively by myself, and of course, what I perceive. And so in summary, there is nothing scientific about these ratings. It is wholly my opinion and my perception. And so, with that having been said, let's get started with one of the larger restaurants on board, Atlantide. Atlantide is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and has a seating capacity of 176 guests. The breakfast and lunch menus in this restaurant are a la carte, and a decent range of choices are available for both breakfast and lunch. While the breakfast menu stays the same, basically, basic bacon and eggs, but some special requests and off-menu items. You can certainly have it your way just for the asking. For example, we just basically did fruit plates in the morning, fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, and yes, you have to ask for the fresh squeezed. Occasionally, we would do a custom egg white omelet with avocados, jalapenos, and bacon stuffed inside. The lunch menu does change from day to day and seems to be focused on lighter offerings like sandwiches, soups, and simplified versions of entrees on the dinner menu. And in the evening, as the name vaguely implies, Atlantide focuses on seafood and steak and chops. Generally, one of the first visitors, once you've been seated at your table, is the sommelier. SILVERSEA always has several varieties of included wines, if wine's your thing, or they will be happy to bring you a wine list that features the upcharge wines. Now, we are not such onophiles that we had to do that at any time, and always found something worth drinking on the included list. The menu in Atlantide is divided up into 2 sections. One, the daily chef's suggestions, and the other, the always available. There is always a good selection of appetizers, soups, and salads available, and many times we would find offerings from the specialty restaurants and other restaurants on board offered as one of the chef's daily suggestions. The part of the menu that changed appeared to be on about a 7 to 10 day rotation. And combined with the always available menu, there seemed to be plenty of choice for frequent visits. While I have seen other people criticize Atlantide's cookery, we literally never had a bad meal there. Chalk that up to the chef on board this time, or the suppliers for this voyage. But every piece of meat and fish that we got was flavorful and cooked perfectly to our requested doneness and temperature. Now, keeping in mind that that is our opinion and our opinion only, there are only a few vegetarian dishes on the menu each night, so if you have special requirements and are a vegetarian or vegan, you may want to get together with the maitre d' of each restaurant you plan to visit the day before you have a meal there. As far as the rating, I'm going to give them a 5 on the ambience scale, a 5 on the perceived cleanliness scale. We'll give that menu a 4, food a solid 4+, drinks and drink service 4, wait staff a solid 5, consistency a solid 4, and management 5. Next up is the neighboring Indochine restaurant, open for dinner only, but it is also occasionally utilized as a special luncheon and breakfast venue. The menu is Asian fusion and features a variety of dishes from all over Asia. Indochine has a capacity of 180 and can accommodate large groups of people. The menu is pretty well set and only changes a couple of items every 4 days or so before rotating right back to the same old, same old. Most dishes are very well prepared and tasty, but some are rather meh, and the soups, an important part of Asian cuisine, range from merely tolerable to freaking horrible. Rumor has it that when the Silver Muse goes into dry dock in 2025, Indochine may be replaced by the new Salt Kitchen initiative. I do think that the idea of an Asian fusion restaurant is a good one. However, implementation and execution in the current Indochine leave a bit to be desired. And I say that because while there are a few standouts, there are definitely a few misses as well. Indochine is a beautiful space with an Asian flair, so ambience gets a solid 5, cleanliness 5. Because of the limited choices, the menu gets a 3, while the food gets a 3 as well. Drinks and drink service, a solid 4. Wait staff, 5. Consistency across several visits, a 3. And management scores a solid 5 once more. Next up is the Japanese restaurant Kaiseki, open for both lunch and dinner. Lunch is open to all guests without reservation and serves up sushi, sashimi, and sushi rolls. The lunch menu is very limited to these items only. In the evening, Kaiseki is a reservation-only restaurant and one of the 2 restaurants that requires an upcharge, in this case $40 per head, for the set Kaiseki menu. And this menu never varies, so whether you visit once, or you visit twice, or you visit 10 times, it's always the same. Edamame beans for the amuse-bouche, the kokikoyu monyu bowl for an appetizer. That does come in 2 varieties, meat-centric and fish-centric. Trio of entrees prepared on the teppanyaki grill are a butter-drenched, perfectly prepared lobster tail, a lovely miso-glazed black cod, more properly called a sablefish, juicy and succulent with just the right amount of saltiness given by the miso, and about a 4-ounce serving of Wagyu beef with appropriately a very mild teriyaki sauce. All this goodness is accompanied by a small bowl of Japanese fried rice. Choices for dessert are limited to tempura ice cream, shown here, and usually a green tea ice cream. Ratings-wise, we'll give the tiny venue capacity 38, an ambience rating of 5 because of its beautiful, understated Japanese aesthetic, another 5 for perceived cleanliness, the menu or lack thereof, a 2 for lunch, and because it's always the same for dinner, a 3, food, a 3 for lunch, and a 5 for dinner, drinks and drink service, a 4, the wait staff a solid 5, consistency a 5 because what they did consistently, and management another 5. And now on to La Dame, a venue I have a definite love-hate relationship with. Open only for dinner and with a $60 per person upcharge and a capacity of only 30 guests, La Dame is an elegant French bistro-style restaurant. When you walk in, you are greeted by the wine cellar and a veritable forest of wine glasses. The menu at La Dame has enough variety and choice that you could easily do 2 dinners there during the voyage. The food is good, the service is white glove and excellent, but is it worth the $60 per head upcharge? I'd have to say yes it is, at least on the SILVERSEA ships that are still charging only $60 per head. If you take a trip to La Dame on the new Nova class ships, it will set you back $160 per head. Yes, $320 per couple. Now, we did that once already on Nova, and although it was billed as coming with an elevated wine pairing, we experienced no such thing, and the food, while good, was no better or worse than we found on the Muse-class ships. So how would we rate the French option aboard the Silver Muse? Well, the venue seems very French, and the waitstaff has worked very hard, apparently, to learn how to say everything in French, so we give that ambience a 5. Perceived cleanliness, once more, a 5. The menu is French-centric, so we'll give it a 5. The food is also very good. Drinks and drink service, a 4. Now, they do offer an elevated wine pairing for only $120 more per person. So I supposed if you were inclined in that direction, you could bump that up to a solid 5. But we found the included selections actually just fine. And while we only went one time to Les Dames during this voyage, it is consistent with Les Dames on other ships, so I'll have to rate that one a 5 as well. And management seemed to be in the pocket, so to speak, and we were promptly seated and everyone was friendly. So management gets those 5 stars as well. And now on to La Terrazza. La Terrazza is the buffet venue for breakfast and lunch with a seating capacity of 242. For dinner, that capacity changes to 120, making it the largest dining venue on the Silver Muse. La Terrazza features a large breakfast buffet and an even larger lunch buffet featuring a different carving every day, as well as several hot sides, a salad bar, and various cold offerings. And about once a week features a specialty-themed lunch, including this seafood extravaganza, or possibly Mexican, Southwestern, or even Indian themes. There's always plenty of sushi and sashimi, as well as a variety of sushi rolls. There's even vegan sushi, if you can imagine. The buffet always features a wide variety of desserts, as well as a killer bread pudding that is not pictured because, well, I ate it all. There are also several vegetarian and vegan and relatively healthy things on offer. This rating is for the buffets only in the morning and the afternoon. In ambience, I give a 4. Perceived cleanliness, a 5. Menu gets a solid 5 because of the variety and the fact that they have a stir-fry station and pasta station that you can customize to a small degree. Food is excellent for the buffet format, and I give that a 4. Drinks are a solid 4, as the waitstaff is very attentive to your drink situation, and you can usually flag one down quickly. The waitstaff is its usual excellent self at 5. Consistency is actually remarkable for a buffet-type venue, and I give it a 4. And management is very present and running things, so they get a 5. But in the evenings, La Terrazza transforms into the Italian eatery. With a seating capacity of only 120, that includes the outdoor al fresco areas when available and weather allows. The menu changes only slightly every 4 days or so and then goes right back to what it was before. As always, the included selection of wines is good, but now with a distinctly Italian focus. Every meal starts with this charcuterie tray, a wonderful bread selection if you're allowed. I'm not. Soups, salads, and pasta like this gnocchi with lardo bits, this creamy fusilli, and my favorite, pappardelle al ragu with duck meat. A nice 5-cheese ravioli, a good selection of seafood and chops like this veal chop Milanese, ossobuco, Italian rack of lamb, saltimbocca alla romana, or veal medallions, a nice blackened branzino, or perhaps you'd like a grilled branzino, with the whole thing followed by a limited but very nice dessert menu like this tiramisu I'm enjoying, a pistachio sponge cake dessert, this lovely layered chocolate ganache style cake, a rum-soaked baba al rum, and this lovely and orange liqueur-soaked sponge cake with candied fruits. So how would I rate the Italian side of La Terrazza? Well, it's a 5 all the way across, with the minor exception of a 4 for ambiance. It has been converted over from the buffet after all, but in all important aspects, at least to me, it's a solid 5. So now it's time to visit Silver Note. Silver Note is a very interesting dining and entertainment experience. Silver Note has a capacity of only 54 and usually has only 2 seatings per night. First-timers really have to have the menu explained to them, but it is simple enough once explained. Choose something from the raw side, choose something from the cooked side, and then your entree from the center of the menu. The center of the menu is divided up surf versus turf, and Silversea classifies the cuisine as a modern tapas take. And the food is very good indeed. The other thing that defines Silver Note, beside the good food, is the presence of a jazz duo during each setting. Now, having been on other Silversea ships and tried the Silver Note on all of them, I can tell you that that entertainment ranges from to very good. And fortunately on this cruise, it could be classified as very good. A reservation is required for Silver Note, however there is no additional upcharge for dining here. So how do we rate Silver Note? For the smoky jazz club ambiance, minus the smoky part of course, we give it a 5. Perceived cleanliness, we'll give it a 5. And for the well-executed, innovative menu, we'll give it a 5 as well. The food itself we'll rate at a 4. Drinks and drink service a 4. The wait staff always a 5. Consistency over the 4 times that we went to the Silver Note over the course of our 58-day cruise, and we'll have to give it a 5 as well. And 5 stars for the friendly and attentive management staff. The grill, also known as the pool grill, is the outdoor venue that serves up typical grill fare, such as sandwiches, salads, hamburgers, hot dogs, and so on. This is also the restaurant I'm going to rate the absolute lowest for the Silver Muse. The sandwiches on that everyday menu, such as the classic Reuben, were short on meat and dry and unappealing, but it was delicious compared to the smoked barbecue chicken wrap. The chicken inside that parchment paper-like wrapper was dry, tasteless, and very rubbery. The hamburger that I sampled suffered from being extremely overcooked and was extremely dry and leathery. The hot dog that I ordered up one day was passable. One bright spot is the fries, and the sweet potato fries were always very well done. Desserts on the menu are very limited, but Song found this one that she liked very well: apricot and mango Eton mess. And while it doesn't look like much of a mess now, the idea is to take the back of your spoon and smash it up and mix it up until you're literally eating it as a mess. I will give Silversea an A for effort in trying to make the grill interesting, and they did that on sea days where they would inject a special themed buffet. We had shawarma, we had Japanese barbecue, we had Italian themed, we had Mexican themed, we had a pub grub grill day, we had a seafood buffet, which was actually pretty good. a special nod going to these grilled shrimp, which were quite delicious. We had a Korean barbecue day, which, although it really wasn't Korean barbecue, it was also quite good. On some of those days, the house band, the SILVERSEA Trio, would join us, weather allowing, on the pool deck. And of course, along with the food, there was always a nice grouping of desserts. But despite all the efforts of the kitchen and the chefs, the food served up in the afternoons at the grill was rather hit or miss. So I'm going to have to give the grill a rating of 2 for ambiance, 3 for perceived cleanliness. A menu, well, we'll give it a 3 because of the various specialty days. And the food was rather hit or miss at a 2. Drinks from the pool bar were always fine. Waitstaff always appeared rather stretched and hurried. We'll give them a 4 this time. Consistency was wildly varied, so I would say a 2. And this was the one restaurant where the management seemed to have the least amount of control, so a 3 for management. But at night, the grill transformed into the SILVERSEA signature venue of Hot Rocks. Here is the menu for this very interesting concept restaurant, where you cook up your own protein on a chunk of superheated lava rock. That rock is heated to a whopping 750 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 400 degrees centigrade. You can ask the chefs at the grill to do the cooking for you, but in my eyes, that's sort of cheating, and certainly less fun than doing it yourself. Although the menu is small, it is large enough to keep you coming back for several trips, and has many standouts on the menu, like this spicy Mexican corn and avocado salad covered with bacon bits. And for me, the prime ribeye steak was the star. Other times, I had enjoyed the Berkshire pork chop and a lovely bone-in veal chop. But for me, the only way to go once you don that obligatory bib/splatter guard was a big old sizzling chunk of meat. For Song, her favorites were always the seafood. Here we have Madagascar prawns and Atlantic cod. On another night, she had huge chunks of sea bass. The dessert menu was rather limited, but the lime and vanilla cheesecake was always a good choice. Hot Rocks is by reservation only, but there is no additional upcharge to dine at Hot Rocks. So how do I rate the evening version of the grill? Well, pretty well, actually. Ambience on the now quiet pool deck is a 4. Perceived cleanliness jumps to a 4. The menu, though limited, jumps to a 5. The food goes to a solid 4. And if you're cooking it yourself, you have no one else to blame if it is overcooked. Drinks and drink service jumps back up to a 4 where it should be. Waitstaff, a 4. Consistency, well, every time we went to the grill, it was pretty consistent, so we'll give it a 5. And management was much more present in the evenings and running things well, so we give it a 4. And now for one of my favorite SILVERSEA venues, Spaccanapoli, the best darn pizzeria at sea. Here's the menu at Spaccanapoli, and it really doesn't change. And because Spaccanapoli is all about pizza, it doesn't have to change. It's perfect the way it is. Located on deck 11 above the pool deck, Spaccanapoli is open to the elements, and on a hot day it's just hot. On a cold day it's moderated somewhat by heaters mounted above the tables. But who cares about the vagaries of the weather when you have something like this to enjoy? Davoli-style pizza, which is spicy salami with a little extra sausage that we asked to be added to our pizza. Spaccanapoli is also the location for the small gelato stand on the Silver Muse, so ice cream was always a good bet for dessert. And while a reservation is required in Hot Rocks right below, at least on the Silver Muse, no reservation is required for Spaccanapoli. And dress code for all outside venues is the relaxed casual. So let's rate Spaccanapoli. Because it is an exposed area, a 3 for ambience, 5 for cleanliness, 5 for the menu because it is what it is, the food, always a 5, drinks, 4. Spaccanapoli is served by the pool bar below. Waitstaff at this wonderful little venue was always a 5. Consistency, 5. And management was kind of absent, but that's fine. The waiters and waitstaff ran it fine at a 5. Another unique dining venue that's not really classified as a dining venue aboard the Silver Muse is the Arts Café. The Arts Café is the go-to place for specialty coffees in the morning, but also has a changing array of light bites throughout the day. In the morning, it's breakfast focused. In the afternoon, they have wraps and small sandwiches. Into the evening, they also have a new batch of sandwiches and wraps. And after 8 o'clock, it's chocolate time. So can this really be called a restaurant? Well, I think so. You could certainly enjoy a light breakfast or lunch, or even dinner here if you had the mind to. So with that in mind, let's rate it. Ambience, I'm going to rate a 4. It would have been a 5, but it is inexplicably located next to Connoisseur's Corner, the smoking area. And if you're of a mind to enjoy the outdoor area at the Arts Cafe, you will occasionally catch a whiff of smoke. Perceived cleanliness was a 5. Menu was a 5 for what it was. The limited food selection, I would rate a 4, but the coffee, teas, and other drinks offered by the Arts Cafe would stand at a solid 5. The wait staff, with one exception that didn't last long during our trip, was a 5. Consistency in what they did was a solid 5. And management seemed to be interested in what was going on all the time, and they were a 5. Lastly, there is a 10th restaurant of record, and that would be your own room. There is an extensive in-room dining menu, and the majority of this menu is available 24/7. The exception to that is a small portion of the Atlantide menu that is available only during the operating hours of Atlantide. In-suite dining will be handled by your butler or room service, depending on whether your butler is available or not. And since we didn't have anything to do with that other than ordering a caviar and canapé service one day, we actually have nothing to base a rating upon, so we will not rate the in-suite dining experience other than to say it is available 24/7 and at no additional charge. One of the strongest inclusions for SILVERSEA is bar service is included in your fare. That includes all alcoholic beverages, as well as specialty coffees and soft drinks. And unless you're hankering for that special bottle of wine or liquor, there is never an additional upcharge. Let's talk about those proper bars, the ones that you can actually sit down in and enjoy the company around you. First is Dolce Vita, that sort of functions as the living room of the ship. It has a massive capacity of 300, and in the evening has full bar service and entertainment in the form of a pianist or guitarist. The drinks range from the simple to the sublime. Canapés are always served in the evening along with snacks like chips and nuts. And once the entertainment starts, the lights come down and the mood certainly mellows. I'm not going to truly rate the bars and lounges, but I will say that Dolce Vita is a great place to get a before or after dinner drink and catch the entertainment throughout the evening. Same goes for the Panorama Lounge on Deck 9 in the aft of the ship. Panorama Lounge features much more active entertainment, such as a full band sometimes, and always the DJ in the evenings for late night dancing. Again, a wonderful place for a before dinner or after dinner drink and catching some entertainment. The Panorama Lounge was also home to many special performances and parties. The pool bar offers full bar service, and there is occasionally entertainment outdoor on the pool deck. pool bar is the perfect place to chill during the daytime hours and into the evening. The Silver Note has a full-service bar and entertainment, as well as 2 seatings at dinner, and is a restaurant serving small tapas-like plates in the evening. After the 2 dinner services, the bar stays open with entertainment from the jazz duo. The observation library is a very quiet space and underutilized most of the time. It is supposed to have bar service in the evenings, starting around 6 o'clock, although we have never been there in the evening, so I can't really testify to that. There is a self-serve coffee and cappuccino machine there, and usually a few soft drinks set out, so you can serve yourself and just chill out in this usually quiet space. There are 2 more proper bar areas aboard the Silver Muse, and they are in the restaurants and basically function as waiting areas. Atlantide and Indochine both have small bars and seating areas. Certainly there are other places you can get a drink aboard the Silver Muse. One of those places is Connoisseur's Corner. The Connoisseur's Corner is the venue for fine cigars and even finer cognacs. Now you can get drink service here from 9 o'clock in the evening and so on, officially anyway, or you can shell out probably $120 for a half ounce of Louis XIII. They also have some other fine liquors and wines kept under lock and key inside the Connoisseur's Corner. All you have to do is find somebody to unlock the cabinet and pay for it, and that Louis XIII is yours to drink, along with a fine cigar. If the other club spaces are not to your liking, you can always head to the Arts Café, where they always keep some chocolate liqueurs and whiskey for your Irish coffee on hand. And in the evenings, they usually have a jug or 2 of the house pour for that evening, standing by as well. And if you're one to test the fates, they always have a drink server wandering the casino when it is open. And last but not least, your butler will set up your bar in your suite with your preferences, and on those odd evenings where you just don't want company, you can turn on a movie, dig into the minibar, or give room service a call. And so in summary, let me state once more that this was a review of the Silver Muse on this trip and our experiences in these venues, and that you may come away with something entirely different. And a couple of things that I want to make perfectly clear. First, my love-hate relationship with La Dame is more a result of having to pay something extra on a cruise that I already paid a lot of money for. And believe me, I realize that you vote with your dollar, and it is 100% up to me whether I book and go to La Dame, or Kaiseki for that matter, or avoid those restaurants. It is 100% my choice. And was La Dame and Kaiseki worth it on this voyage? Well, yes, I think so. But would they be worth it on Silver Nova or Silver Ray? Been there, done that, and the answer, to me at least, is no. And before you think I treated the grill harshly, keep in mind all of my ratings on this trip are based against the other restaurants. Is the food at the grill edible? Well, yeah, sure. Does it compare favorably to any of the other restaurants? And my thoughts are, no, it does not. And lastly, you may wonder why I always rated the drink service a 4 instead of a 5. It is free booze, or included booze after all. Well, the answer to that is that although I'm no onophile, I do enjoy wine from time to time, and it seemed like I had to look a little harder to find something that was drinkable this time around. That may turn out to be a one-time thing, but I'll let you know the next time we go on a Silversea voyage how that works out. If you have a different opinion on any of this or would like to comment, by all means, let me know what you think in the comments below. Well, that's it for our dining and drink guide. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be kept up to date with new videos as they drop. If you have any specific questions or comments concerning this video, my opinions, or any of our other content, please feel free to comment and let us know how we're doing. Stay tuned for more on the Silver Muse in our upcoming series on our 2 weeks in Australia. Happy and safe travels from T's Cruise and Travel Muse.